We are your home for exclusive interviews and behind the scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. This is all about Kentucky tracks, Kentucky drivers, and Kentucky fans. We eat, sleep, and breathe it anyways, so we figured why not make a podcast about it? For 11 years, we've been keeping the bluegrass covered in dirt. Now, we're doing it bigger than ever before. We are Kentucky's Dirt Racing Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live, presented by Smokehouse Grill and Buffet.
And welcome in everyone to the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios for one last time in the regular season, regular season, I guess you could say, Wes, for our Kentucky's Dirt Racing podcast here. It has been it's been such a fun year. And so much fun, I tell you. It flew by. We've got another event coming up this weekend at Lake Cumberland, but everywhere else pretty much has already wrapped up their seasons, it seems like here. So, like I said, man, just been a whole lot of fun.
I mean, an absolute blast. But yes, it has flew by, and me and a lot of other drivers and fans, and I know we've already talked about it a little bit, but hate to see the season winding down, but 2023 has definitely been one for the books, and we're almost finished with it and really looking forward to 2024.
Yeah, we almost are finished with that. I wanted to say real quick. I don't know if I mentioned this. This is the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studio. This segment is sponsored by Dirtman Diecast. Go check him out at dirtmandiecast.com. We appreciate their support in this 2023 season. Now, Wes, it's showing on my end that I've got low signal. How's it looking? How's it looking to you if you're listening, watching here with us? Let me know how. If I'm cutting up, breaking out, whatever you want to call it, let me know.
Yeah, it's blurry a little bit, and then it'll come back in. And then a while ago, you sounded like you was talking in fast time or something. It was like.
Well, yeah, just my luck. This new high-speed internet we've got here at the house. I tried to move inside out of the shop where it's warmer in here, better weather inside. But now I think I'm too far away from the router in here in the office. So Scott Robertson says I'm good at the moment. Do you agree with Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
good.
You're good right now.
Okay, so I'm good for right now. We'll just go with it and make the best that we can out of it. In the off season, I'll get all this figured out. We'll move closer to the router now that we finally got high speed internet out here in cattle country. So thanks to Starlink, we greatly appreciate them and all their support as well. If you live out in the country, it might be a saving grace for you too. Well, I want to talk about a few things exciting. We're going to get to our awards here in just a few minutes. We've got several. We've got our final Lives Top 5 to dish out here in just a minute. And we've got several other awards we're going to do. Wes picked some. I picked some. We tried to do that just to get as many recognition to drivers as we possibly can. And I know through that we're still going to leave some out. But, that's one of the things we want to do on this show. But I want to talk about a couple of exciting things this off season. One, I do want everybody to know that and showing low signal on my screen again. So I do want to let everybody know that this isn't the end of the podcast, for even the year. We really have some big plans coming up in the off season to meet with some people in person, to do some sort of different stuff this off season while we don't have any racing going on, have some good conversations with people in the racing community. So look for that in the coming months. I think that's something that'll be a whole lot of fun to be able to go to some of these people. Folks that have been around for a long time in the racing community, have a lot of input and a lot of good things, I'm sure to say.
I'm really looking forward to it, and we don't want to let the cats out of the bag yet, but we do have a lot that we're planning for the off season, and just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We really are. The other thing is, Wes, we've got going on there. This is something we talked a little bit about earlier in the year. I think when we had Caution on the show, he mentioned they used to like get together with a couple of guys and race something. Maybe it was on PlayStation 2 or something like that. So at that time, we come up with the idea that we would start like, now you can race online, which honestly I hadn't done, I don't think, since high school, like on PlayStation 4 and Xbox and stuff. Like we could start a league, get a bunch of our viewers, our listeners, race fans from around here in that league. Man, how much fun would that be? So we got that going last week. Right now we've got over 60 people in the group ready to race in there. I don't know. I don't think we'll get all 60 all the time, but I think we'll get 30 at our first race at Volusia. But that's on PS4, Wes. You don't have a PS4. You got an Xbox. My question is, a lot of people are asking, I see it every day, what about Xbox? What about Xbox? That's up to Worldwide West, so I just want to know, what has Worldwide West decided? Are you going to try to do your own thing? Because, it's a lot of work to do two separate ones. Are you going to break down and buy a PS4? Are you going to get something going for these guys on Xbox? What's it going to be?
It'll probably be easier just to break down and buy a PS4 because I don't have a clue how even I see this stuff and everybody's like, "What's your laptops at Volusia?" And I'm like, I don't even know. I just need to get a PS4. It's unfortunate and it's a disadvantage to me because I'm really good on the Xbox. See, I'm not even gonna get to show my skills. I'm gonna have to relearn it like trying to ride a bicycle.
Wes, it's the same game. I don't want to hear your excuses right off. It's the same game. Both systems have a joystick, and you hit the gas with your right trigger. I mean, it's just it's not that complicated. Just make the change, and I don't want to hear the excuses right off the bat about how bad you're going to be.
Joe says the PS4 is slower than Xbox.
Yeah. Well, so Joe, Joe, go get you a PS4 too, like everybody else needs to do, and we'll see where it all shakes out. I'll be honest with you, is I never played online until just lately we started doing that. A couple of guys started getting on there, and we were racing a little bit. Other than that, I'd played that game like on career mode. Man, I'm just hoping like I can make a race at some point this year because only 16 cars can make a feature, and like these guys are absolutely flying, and I just suck. I'll be honest with you. I'm not, I'm not even close to some of these guys.
16. I saw all that. 16 cars make the show. Man, if we had 50 or 60 cars show up, man, you talk about some barn burner B mains. Golly.
Well, I'm telling you.
Win a B main to get in.
Well, I know it's a bunch of grown men and women playing playing a video game, but we had like 4 or 5 guys on there the other night. We were just practicing, and I'm telling you, like it was really good racing. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Plus, it'll give us all a way to just hang out during the off season, give us something to do. So I think it'll be a whole lot of fun.
Well, so kind of explain that. So I know you said there's like 60 guys and gals that's already signed up. So when I go get this PS4, and if anybody's got an extra one, or I don't feel like breaking the bank to buy one, but I'm gonna have to break down and buy one. So I've been looking.
Wes, they're $100 on Marketplace. You keep it's like he's breaking the bank. Come on, you live in a mansion, man. Like you ain't breaking the bank.
I wish I live in a mansion. Yeah. But anyway, so once everything's situated, you said you got to have like a driver tag or like a gamer tag.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So you just kind of sign in and you play it right there. It's online, I guess, through the internet or
yeah, it's through the internet. So you sign up for PlayStation Network. You'll create an account. I took over Brantley's account, so my gamer tag is Brant the Main 16. That's my gamer tag because I had to take over my kids' account to be able to play some World of Outlaws dirt racing. So, yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do, man. It's not that hard. I say that, but you'll probably need to call me, and I'll walk you through. It is technology, so I understand. I know it can be tough. But if you're like Wes and you have issues with technology, just message me. Wes, you do the same. We'll get you taken care of, buddy. And anybody else that's having trouble with it, got questions, just message me. We'll make sure we get you on there because I think it'll be a lot of fun. I really do.
Well, I tell you, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's cool because it's our people, if you will, like our fans and drivers and people that work at the track all across Kentucky. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's just a cool way to stay connected, throughout the off season, in the winter months, and so can you wear headsets and talk back and forth? Is that an option? Like
yeah. Actually, receivers are required. So you have to have a headset. You need to be able to hear. You need to be able to hear me. I'll be the race director, making sure everybody, nobody's running over anybody or anything like that. You need to be able to talk back to me. Now, what I did, I went to the Dollar General and I bought a $5 set of earbuds, just with like the normal little plug in it. That's what you can use on a PlayStation. It may not be the best, but it works for me. So it's that's just a cheap pair of earbuds. So we'll get you by there if it comes down.
I agree with you. Yeah, the race director will have a provisional every race. I guarantee that. He ain't missing no races. Look at him.
Listen, who am I joking? I'm fast enough. I don't need a professional, unseen professional.
He's gonna run that mouth to get cocky. Yeah.
Only thing Taylor's gonna see is my spoiler going by. So no need for a provisional. But seriously, it'll be fun. And another thing, I have made a purpose, Wes. I've made a purpose to keep it us, right? People who listen to our podcast, people we're going to see at the racetracks, because that's the whole purpose of this thing, is staying connected. I created this group. One thing we did, Michael Chilton, he sponsored $250 toward the purse for the top three. So it's going to pay $200 to win, $100 for second, and $50 for third. Well, we got a bunch of just random people from online racers, like probably be on there all day, all night, and blow our doors off. Some of them going to do that anyway, but I don't want just a bunch of random people, not from within our race community, getting on there, because then you just end up with a bunch of people. I don't know, but anyways, it just wouldn't be fun. So I have, we had one guy, the question to enter our group is, who are the hosts of Dirt Racing and the Bluegrass Live? One guy said, don't know, just want to race, LOL. That's the wrong answer, buddy. You got to know who Worldwide Wes is to get in this group. I mean, it's just, it's not that complicated. Right. So, but I have made that a point.
I think it's going to be really cool. And so for all the Xbox guys and gals, just go buy you a PS4 and let's just all stay together and keep it on one deal. So, heck, that might be about 15, 20 more people there. So,
yeah.
I think this is going to be really cool.
Well, is what it was going to come down to, because Wes, he saw my post and he says, hey, if you want to play PlayStation, come play with, or Xbox, come play with Worldwide Wes. I'm like, Wes, you don't need your 5 on Xbox. Because, like, literally the whole group, there's like 5 people like you. It's like having an Xbox is like having an Android. You just mess everything up when you have an Xbox. Go get a PlayStation, you're just messing it all up. So, anyway.
Always. See, when I had an Android, everybody hated on me for having that stupid phone. And then I finally got an iPhone. And so then I got an Xbox One. I think that's pretty cool. Now I'm getting hated on. Everybody saying, go get a PlayStation. It never fails. I can't win for losing.
Well, Androids are the worst. Like, seriously, people who have Androids, I mean, it is the worst. Like, have you ever got in a group chat with somebody with an Android and it's all they got? Everybody has to text green text because the one person has an Android, and it's just not good. It's the same way with Xbox. Just go get a PlayStation, and we'll all have a whole lot of fun. Plus, like I said, Wes says, I guess I'm going to have to break the bank. I mean, marketplace right now, search for it. $100, you can go buy a PS4, and we'll have a lot of fun. So, I think that'll.
I'm gonna do it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right. I'm not worried about it anymore. Okay. I feel better now. Sorry to everybody that's got an Xbox, but go get a PS4, and it'll be a lot of fun. All right, so that will be, and we're calling it. Another thing is this, people. I'm telling you, for the last 10 years since I started this page, everybody said that random people will message me and say bring back the Battle of the Bluegrass series. Like, that's all I hear about is bring back the Battle of the Bluegrass series. Well, we're calling this the Battle of the Bluegrass Dirt Car series. So it's official, Wes. We're bringing it back. Battle of the Bluegrass. It's coming back.
You know what we should do? Everybody on the first race at Volusia, everybody needs to do a throwback scheme of a driver that raced it in the Battle of the Bluegrass from throughout all the years. Everybody has a throwback scheme to start the season. Now that would be pretty cool.
I like that idea, and even if we don't start with it, maybe one race. I like that idea. That'd be awesome.
Maybe down the road, like maybe a halfway point in our little season. Say, all right, this race here, everybody paint them a car. We may even draw out of a hat. That way, you don't know who you got till and then it's like, I just think that would be cool. Because I mean, I've had fun with it, even like painting people's cars. I did one of Jesse Lowe. I did one of Skylar Marler. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. Kind of taking a car and trying to get as close as you can to what theirs looks like. But that would be really cool to do that maybe mid-season.
I like that idea. I really do. I think that's cool. We definitely need to do that. That'd be a whole lot of fun. So let's do that for sure. All right. As far as the off season goes, we've covered the plans for the podcast for the off season and our big PS4 video game, World of Outlaws, Battle of the Bluegrass, Dirt Car Series, League. Anything else this offseason? I think that's about it, but I just want to see everybody get a PS4. But I think that covers it, don't you?
I think so.
As far as offseason goes.
I think so.
Well, let's go ahead then.
Worldwide West has to get a PS4, and then we're ready to roll.
Yeah, that's basically all we're waiting on. So November 19th is when the season starts. We do have some time, so but we're just waiting on West. But that's not anything. It's not anything unusual. Especially when it comes to leaving a racetrack. Well, let's go ahead without further ado. Let's get to our awards here. We did this last year. Wanted to do it again this year. Last year, they were all pretty much just stupid, right? Not serious. We've got some serious ones this year. We've also got some that are not so serious, but we're going to go ahead and get to our final Live's Top 5 first, and it's showing once again that I've got low service. So, all right, best we can. Here we go. First for our Live's Top 5, Hornets Division. First is Eric Parton. Second, really strong end to the season for Raymond Fuson at Richmond, Thunder Mountain, and the track champion at both places, I do believe. So just a big end of the year for Raymond. Third is Clint Cox. Fourth, Christopher Meyer. He's from over at Bud Lick Valley Raceway. And then Marty Gilley rounds out your top 5 there in Hornets.
Yeah, that class has been really fun to watch this year, and some really good battles, especially between Eric, Raymond, and Marty. It's just those three have seemed like any race that we've been to this year. Those three especially have put on a show, and congratulations to those in the Hornets Live Top 5s.
Yeah, yep, I agree. And it's just one of those classes. It's a lot of fun, a lot of competition there. So congratulations to those guys there. As you hear the crowd in the background, and we move forward to our hobby stock division. The driver finishing in first place at Craig Stocks. Man, what a year for Craig. From start to finish, it was a really good year for that team.
Yeah, he's had a really good year. Him and his brother, his crew, they really work hard, and as I've said all this year, really love the hobby stock division, and so much fun to watch week in week out. Those guys race hard. They beat and bang and have a good time. So that's probably as an overall class for the season, that class has been my favorite all year in the hobby stock division.
Yeah, and another thing, all these guys are so much fun to be around.
Oh yeah.
Just a joy to be around at the racetrack. And so AJ Smith in second, David Marler third, Ross Burnett fourth, and Randy Hacker rounds out your top five. Man, I tell you what, to finish in the top five in any of these divisions is really saying something. So, because it's tough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. And you look, I mean, every single one of our top fives, any of those guys can win any given night. It don't matter where they go across the state, and some of them even ventured out of state and ran several different places in Tennessee, Georgia, Ohio, Indiana. So man, yeah, it's definitely an honor for any of them to make the top five.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm just pushing buttons at this point. I'm trying to see what I got. That's not the right one for a congratulations to the top five. Let's see. Well, that's a drum. Well, that's not a good one. I mean, that one might work. I don't know. But anyway, we'll just go with the crowd cheer there for our hobby stock drivers. So open wheel modifieds, Wes, it's on your screen too, buddy. I'll let you read this one. You go for it.
All right. Live's top five open wheel modifieds. First place is Blake Brown. Second place is Cole Falloway. Third place is Ben Petrie. Fourth place is Jimmy Lennox. And fifth place, Brian Barber. Yet again, these five drivers, have been standouts all season long. Don't matter where they go and compete. They're always right there. At least a podium finish. And so, yeah, there again, another stout top five.
Yeah, it really is. And just that's one of my favorite classes. The modifieds has always been. It's been around, of course, for a long time, and just always a good bunch of drivers. And people say, I've always heard this: if you can drive a modified, you can drive anything. And those five guys are some of the best to do it. So, congratulations to those modified Live's top five. For your pro late models, Dustin Linville finishes out the year in first, Jeff Watson second, Justin Smith third. Couple big wins for Justin Smith there coming later on in the season. Ratliff rounds out your top five. Justin had a really strong start to the season, and then honestly seemed like being out of town and whatever it was, some of the bigger races later in the year he didn't make in the crate, at least some of those. So but still there in the top five. So another good group of drivers there.
Yeah, he's had a busy year. Been out of town here and there, missed some races. Had a new baby during the season, so he's ready to get back after it now.
Yeah. All right, and the Super Late Models Live's top five. First, finishing there in first is Josh Rice. Second, Michael Chilton. Third, Derek Fisher. fourth, Dustin Linville, and then fifth is Kenneth Howe, again from over there in Mud Lick Valley Raceway. Derek Fisher also raced there at Mud Lick Valley for most of the year. Also picked up his 100th career feature win just a few weeks ago at 191 Speedway, a place that he has owned back before when it was open. Fisher, tough to beat there, comes out of the gate and gets another feature win at 191. But Josh Rice was just he was dominant from the start here locally and regionally, but also, I mean, Michael Chilton, man, just really strong end of the year for him.
Yeah, he definitely got hot there and won a couple big races there at Richmond, and he got hot right toward the end of the season, and hopefully all that'll carry over into 2024, and just looking forward to the next year for him.
Yeah. I'm with you on that for sure. All right, so last but certainly not least of your Live's Top 5, your Super Stock division, Blake Brown, he wins the number 1 spot in 2 of our classes. Jimmy Robinson finishes second, Glenn Hounshell third, Tyler Hayes fourth, and Andrew Harmon rounds out your Live's Top 5 there. They kind of the same, really a strong start to the year there in that Sportsman, or I can still call them Sportsmen sometimes. It seems like we've called them Super Stock, Sportsmen, Bombers. They've had all kinds of names over the years, but Super Stocks. And then a lot of those guys like Jimmy Robinson, Glenn Hounshell, really finished out the year strong. So that one was really close too.
Yeah, that one was probably one of the tightest races as far as 5 drivers. I'd say there was probably 8 or 9 that was right there close. That could have been in that top 5 realm real easy. So like I said, another tough deal with those 5 drivers right there close to each other, and a handful of others knocking on the door for the top 5.
Yep. Yes, and that was the case with all those classes. Look forward to doing something along the lines of this again next year, because, like I said, it gives us just an opportunity to spotlight some of our drivers here locally, and really want to come up with ways to talk about even more drivers, get more people on the podcast, and do some things like that moving forward. Because ultimately, that's what this podcast is all about. So we've got a few awards for outside of Live's Top 5 that we came up with. And what honestly, we kind of threw this thing together last minute, if I'm being honest. I mean, it was 7:56 and I was still making some of these flyers. So that's how quickly all this came together. But we wanted to just mention some other drivers as well. So Wes, we'll start with your Rookie of the Year.
All right, so my pick for 2023 Rookie of the Year is Connor Stewart. He just continues to improve, and has had a really good season. And I think the young man's got a bright future in our sport, and just want to congratulate him on my pick for 2023 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I mean, his dad's been tough for a lot of years, man. That's a racing family there, and man, he's had a really good year. And probably, I would say, from front to back, throughout the field, maybe the toughest division to compete in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it didn't matter if he was running for 400 to win or 1,500 to win. You're looking at 20 to 30, cars every weekend, and just a tough field of cars. I mean, the competition is there week in and week out, and just a tough class to compete in, and that's what we love as fans to watch that every weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly do. So my rookie of the year, 2023 rookie of the year is Gary Swafford, a regular over at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Gary was a drag racer. He went from running as fast as he could in a straight line to running as fast as he could in a dirt circle, and finished third in points in the 604 Pro Late models up there at Thunder Mountain. First year out. That's a tough thing to do, and he had a really good year going from the drag race and circles to the dirt tracks.
Yeah, definitely good to see him out and to jump straight in, and
I know.
run that 604 crate car. That's pretty impressive in itself, and just looking forward to next season for Gary.
Yeah, it really is. So that was cool to see. All right, so Wes, this is next one is yours as well. Most improved driver.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to my buddy Matthew Jones. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year, just seemed like each and every race, he just kept getting better, and that's a test to the seat time, and just the more he raced, the better he's gotten this year, and just a big congratulations to him, your 2023 most improved driver, Matthew Jones.
Yeah, it was. Ended the year there, that last event at Rockcastle, with a feature win, was just really cool to see. And that picture there says a lot with Jimmy Crabtree there in Victory Lane, and with Matthew and losing his dad. Over the offseason, just so many things. And then the way watching him from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, man, it was like he improved so much as the year went along, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah, well, that was a no-brainer when you asked me. I was like, I know exactly who my most improved is definitely going to be Matthew, and got to give a shout out to Jimmy Crabtree. I know Jimmy and Matthew's tight, and Jimmy's helped him, a lot this year in a lot of different ways, but especially with his racing, and just got to give Jimmy a shout out for sure.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, I think when it comes down to it, I know this award was for Matthew, but on the topic of Jimmy Crabtree, I mean, I think. And there's several other guys out there like this too, but we need more people like that. I mean, and I know Matthew grew up in a racing family. Of course, he knows racing, he knows race cars, all that stuff. But just to see somebody like really get behind someone new and help them out, and not just on knowledge of the race car, but just when it comes to encouragement.
Right.
These guys make it easy, but all of them. Driving a race car is a really hard thing to do. So need people like Jimmy Crabtree in the pits.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we've said this time and time again. That's what's so cool about our sport, and the dirt racing community, and man, just helping each other, encouraging each other, helping work on the cars in the pits, giving parts and tools and all kind of them things, man. That's what's cool to see, and then be racing against each other and battling, but to work and help each other in the sportsmanship, that's cool to see too.
Yeah, it is. I agree 100%. All right, so my 2023 most improved driver, to me, Wes, this was a no-brainer. Chris Smith, like I just said, I mean, these guys make it look very easy to drive a race car. They make it look easy. But I think Chris Smith is an example of being new at something, coming from something else, being new at something, struggling, and hard work, having the right people around you. He went from struggling to some hard work, dedication, to winning features in 2023. And not just winning features, but he had, it was multiple straight. I don't have a number, but I'd say it was close to 10 straight podium finishes. Consistency and winning features. It's just really cool to see for one of our local drivers turn it around, work hard, and have some success. And that team and Chris Smith did that this year. It was a fun year just watching him.
Yeah. They him and that team has had a dandy of a year, and you hit the nail on the head. Hard work and staying in that garage, going and practicing, turning laps, and just working on that car to get better and get faster. And he's had a great year this year. That's a really good pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you've got something else that you'd like for us to pick, let us know there in the comments. We'll add some more in here before we get off the show, because definitely we might not get to all of them. But if you've got something you'd like to hear our thoughts on, go ahead and put that in the comments. We'll try to get to it. One more serious one, then we're going to get to some not so serious stuff, Wes. We want to give this. We did it last year. Jeff Soxie was our contributor of the year. I'd give it to Jeff Soxie again, to be honest with you, just because of what he does for our sport, and what he expects in return, which is nothing. Like he just enjoys it. He loves it. But he was our inaugural, our first one. Really appreciate Jeff and everything he does. He's kept doing it this year, and he keeps adding stuff to his videos, and they're just really fun to watch. And but we wanted to do another contributor of the year this year, so I'll let you go first with yours, and then I've got one as well. I don't have a graphic. I ran it. Yeah, it was 7:58, and I didn't have any more time to make flyers. I had to get on the podcast, so. Yeah,
I understand. Just real quick, wanna again give a big shout out to Jeff Soxie. Man, he does so much, and he loves it. He works hard, and provides this for the drivers to watch, the fans to watch, promoters, and just got to give a shout out to him. Again this year, heck of a year, Jeff, and thank you for what you do. But for my 2023 contributor, Terry Keltner and Keltner Contracting here out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. Terry does so much behind the scenes for dirt racing, but he's a sponsor for Lake Cumberland Speedway, a sponsor for Ponderosa Speedway, sponsor for Ironman Late Model Dirt Series. He's a sponsor on race cars. Victor Lee, he sponsors his car. Dalton Wilson, Justin Ratliff, Jason Jameson, all of those cars, out of the Ratliff, James Ratliff Motorsports. He sponsors them. Just a man that absolutely loves dirt racing throughout the state and then across the United States, and just does so much for dirt racing in general, but especially here in our area and across the state. So that's my contributor of 2023 is Terry Keltner.
Yeah, I kind of went along the same lines of that as well, Wes. And I think it's important to understand, like, we need people in the racing community who are willing to invest in racing, like these people who don't maybe have a race car or own a race car, or they're not driving, but people who are investing money and their efforts into the racing community. It's something that's just very important. When I thought about contributor, the first person that came to my mind was Tony Lowry with Bluegrass Restoration and Construction. Tony, I can tell you for us, what we've been doing here, I'm just being like upfront honest on this podcast. Tony has been a yes man. anything we've needed or wanted or ideas that we've had, he's been behind it, financially. He's sponsored Rockcastle Speedway. He just most people, these are people who most people, fans and people in this community probably never heard of, but they have a huge impact on our sport. And Tony Lowry, Terry Keltner, two of the best, man. Like I said, we need more people like them in our sport.
Yeah, those two guys, just got to thank, both of them so much. And they've both been so good, like you said, to us and our podcast as well. But and other drivers, I'm sure I'm probably forgetting some that, that Keltner contracted on the cars. But yeah, those two guys, their businesses, just a huge shout out to them. And just thank them so much for what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I want to say this. Angie Matters just commented and made me think of it. I meant to talk about this at the beginning of the show. How about this past weekend at Eldora Speedway in the steel block division, being able to see Jeff Watson start on the pole of a heat race? He had some bad luck there. Things didn't work out the way we'd hoped it would for Jeff. But then also Derek Matters being up there at Eldora. There may have been some others. Let me know if there were. I just might have missed them. I don't want to leave anybody out. But it was just really cool to see a couple of our local guys up there on the biggest stage on Flow Racing from home this weekend.
Yeah, that was awesome. I know it was kind of a crazy weather weekend and track conditions there with what went on at Eldora, but just cool to see those guys up there. And I mean, man, just to say you've raced at Eldora Speedway is awesome in itself. But we were definitely rooting for both of those guys from here in Kentucky for sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was just really cool. It was awesome to see. All right, let's get to some not so serious stuff. We'll sort of wrap up the show with this. We've had a lot of awards here, man. This has kind of been heavy. We've been talking serious. Let's say no, not so serious. Some awards here, but I want to say these, and I want to see how closely some of these fans pay attention to our podcast. So I want to see if they can guess some of these, and then we'll say who they are. Starting with the biggest bladder award for 2023 here on the Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live podcast. Who would you give that one to? Biggest bladder. Let me see it in your comments. I want to see if anybody can get any of these right to see how well you pay attention here on the podcast each and every week. This one comes from way back at the beginning of the year, I can tell you that. So there's a hint. Who has the biggest bladder on the podcast? I ain't seeing anything yet. Well, I don't know if we've got any. Yeah, Angie, look, I'm telling you. Angie Matters is on it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's James Essex, yeah. It ain't Wes. Yeah.
It sure ain't Josh. He's got
it ain't me. Yeah. It sure ain't me. It ain't Wes either. It's the one and only, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer, James Essex. Man, he had us on here for like 3.5 hours. My screen froze. I had to pee so bad I couldn't stand it. And he just kept going. I thought and I didn't want it to end. Don't get me wrong. Like personally, but my bladder wanted it to end. I'll just tell you that.
Josh's eyeballs were floating, and James talked about everything from cars to politics to Kentucky basketball to Indiana basketball. I'm telling you, you name it, that man talked about it. And how cool to have him on the show. And then him to talk for 3.5 hours. He said, I've talked longer than I did in my Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And I'm telling you, it was great, every bit of it. I just really, in hindsight, what I should have done about half through, I should have just left you to it, paid and came back, and all would have been fine. Because I don't regret 1 minute of it. It was great. It really was.
Yeah, he is truly something else, and it was cool to see him at tracks later on throughout the year after that, and I mean, for him to come up and talk to us, and and then mention the podcast and thank us for what we was doing, that was really really cool. And just if it was, to see him at Brownstown, or to see him at Florence, or wherever, see him at the World 100, just to speak to him, and thank him again for coming on the podcast early this year, was just really cool.
Yeah, it was. All right, next award. I'm going to give it. I'm calling this award winner the Cat Whisperer. If you have an idea of who that might be, you've been listening, following along with the podcast, you should know. I'll give you a little bit of an extra hint, because this is a tough one. We had someone come on the podcast, and before we brought them on, like, they were laughing hysterically, and I was trying to figure out like what was going on. I could see them in the corner of my screen just laughing, and it turns out their cat spit up, puked up, whatever you want to call it, a big old hairball right before they jumped on the show. Who is the Cat Whisperer? Let me know in the comments. Let's see if anybody. Angie Metters, man, I tell you what, she'll probably get this one too. You just wait. So somebody better jump on there and beat her to it. All I see so far is a no clue, Wes. I don't know if how big of fans we have on this thing anyway. We'd be following along. I mean, there's only one.
This one here would be really tough.
It is tough.
This is probably the toughest one. Angie says you stumped her.
Yeah. It probably is. Yeah, Jeff Soxie, Stephen Harp says he is. That's a really good guess. Yeah, because that picture he put on Facebook of the cat sitting there licking his hair, or was his beard? Yeah, it was his beard, wasn't it? He was sick. Yeah. Well, the Cat Whisperer is Dustin Linville. Right before he jumped on the show with us, his cat puked up a big hairball, and they were trying to get that taken care of before he came on. So,
but that's definitely Steven, that's a good one, because Soxy, he's a cat whisperer too.
Yeah. He's probably. I mean, that's probably more fitting for Soxy. I would say. All right, best air show of 2023. I can give you an idea. Here's a hint. It didn't happen in the state of Kentucky. Wes picked him to win. He went somewhere outside the state of Kentucky with the American All-Star Series and put on an air show for everybody in attendance. So who was that? It was earlier in the year, I can tell you that as well. So best air show of 2023. I just took it down on you. My bad. We're clicking all over the place. All right, you take it, Wes. You got it. All right, yeah. It was.
An inside joke to this, I told Josh, I said, I'm never allowed to pick him ever again. His mom and dad told me, said, I'm not allowed, said, you don't pick him ever again to win anything. I said, okay. Because I did that. I was like, hey, go out and win the points championship in that series, and blah, 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 buy you a steak dinner. And he goes and hits a home run. He left the ballpark.
Yeah, I know, man. That was a wild ride.
Crazy.
And then he showed back up at Rockcastle the next day in races.
Yeah,
we're like,
we interviewed him at Rockcastle. He's like, the car's still in the trailer.
yeah, and it was. Yeah, he's driving. Who was he? Was driving one of Shane Irvin's cars, maybe.
Shane Irvin's cars. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah,
crazy. Probably the craziest wreck for any of our drivers in 2023 was Logan Hall's wreck there that was at Tri-County, Brasstown, North Carolina.
Yeah, it was. So Luckily for Logan, there were better days ahead for him. He finished out the year strong. So, but he did put on a good air show there for everybody. All right, this next award is a tough one. I'll be honest, it's probably second toughest to the Dustin Linville award we just did, being the Cat Whisperer. This next award is probably right behind him. This is going to be tough, but I think somebody out there, if you pay close enough attention to the podcast, specifically during the Battle of the Bluegrass series, special we did to begin the year, you'll get this one. The Sleeping Giant Award goes to who? Let's see who can get this one, because that happened, Wes, and then we talked about it on a later episode. So let's see who can. Yeah, we did. I don't think anybody will get this one. Let's see if we got any guesses out. Monica Parton says Raymond Fuson. Yeah, you know Raymond better than we do, but. No, it's not.
Look here.
Look at that.
Oh,
Eddie
wow.
Carrier.
Eddie fell asleep.
Listen, it's one of the funniest parts of the whole thing. But I couldn't laugh at the time. I look over, and of course, there's like 4 or 5 of us on the screen because I can't remember who all we had on with him. I think it was like Tim. Was he on Tim Tungett?
Yeah.
Who else was on there?
It's me, you, and Eddie and Tungett. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay. But I look over, and like he's sleeping. You know, it's like they ain't no denying it. We are so boring, Wes, that he's fell asleep on us. So, you know, it happens.
It's all that hard work he does on that rocket.
Yeah, it is for sure.
He had worked hard Monday and Tuesday and all day on Wednesday, and then we had that late podcast about 8 o'clock, and he was out.
Yeah, that's right. Good thing is he's the only one so far that has fell asleep on us. The guest that we've had on the show. So yeah, he is our Sleeping Giant Award winner. All right, last one. This will be it, and I'm gonna end it. The awards part of it, the ones we had planned, anyways. I'll look through the comments here in a minute and see if we had any other suggestions there, but. This comes from the podcast. We asked this driver what was his nickname. So, worst nickname award goes to who? You can take some guesses, but if you listen to the podcast, you might come to the same conclusion that I did. Worst nickname award. Who would that go to? Let's see if we can get anybody that gets this one right. This could go to several, I guess, when it comes down to it, but
right.
I don't see any guesses yet. I think everybody's afraid to say. I kind of am too, I'll be honest with you, because Jason Barrett. I like Jason Barrett's nickname. What did we decide on the podcast? Jason Barrett's nickname, the Waco.
What did we? I'm trying to think. It was Waco something. We'll have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Taylor, tell us what it was. Yeah, Greg Hensley. No, Minion Man. No, heck no, not Greg Hensley. We love the Minion Man. All right, this one. I love you. I love you, Colin Watson. You're one of my favorite people at the racetrack. Seriously, I mean, I'm telling you, he is one of the greatest guys. But C Puddin', we got to find something else. You know, I mean, C Puddin', just you can't put that on a spoiler. We got to find something else. What do you think, Wes? You agreeing? You disagreeing? Am I just a bad guy? But C Puddin', I don't know, man. It just don't have a good ring to it. Colin's too good a driver. We can find him something better.
I just wonder if a lot of people actually knew, you know, that was his nickname. If that's one that he tells everybody, or.
I don't think so. I think he was kind of put in a spot and had to. I think it's like what people called him in middle school, I think he said, or something like that. But
yeah.
We don't want to go with it as a driver nickname. What do you think? You like it?
I mean, let's see. Colin's not on here. We'll have to ask him. We'll have to talk to him.
Yeah.
And it's up to him. He's the driver.
Well, I mean, I agree, yeah. But at the same time, though, fans usually come up.
Right. Driver nicknames and I mean, they're given, like you gave me Worldwide West. So
Yeah. Right. He's from Campbellsville, right?
yeah,
Now, how about like is there a Campbellsville Comet? The Campbellsville, I don't know. Is that better than Sea Pudding, you think, or is it worse?
I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Wes is he's too nice to agree. I get it. I really do. But I don't know, man. Like I said, if he wants to go with it, we'll go with it.
Colin. We'll have to see
we'll ask
if
Colin.
he wants a new nickname or if he wants to still be Sea Pudding.
Well, if he wants to be Sea Pudding, we'll let him keep it. I'm not, it's not that big a deal. I'll support him if that's what he really wants.
But
that's what it comes down to.
I've not seen it on the spoiler, so I don't know.
I did see somewhere up here, I saw one suggestion. I couldn't find any other. Fan of the year, someone said, I'm going to say all of you. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in with us all year. We've had a lot of people each and every week come consistently to listen, watch our podcast. If we didn't have anybody on here, it wouldn't be worth the time of doing it. So we appreciate all of you tuning in with us each and every week. Can't wait till the off season and then next year to do it all over again.
Yeah, we definitely gotta brag on y'all as fans, and I know we've mentioned it several different times, but it's so cool to see y'all at the racetrack, or heck, just out in public in general. I mean, just to see our fans and for y'all to holler at us, and it's just really cool, and we just love and enjoy what we're doing. And man, like Josh said, just ready for the off season to do some cool things, and then for 2024 to be even bigger and better than this year. And we've had a big year this year, and we loved every second of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have. The only one I see here, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole, Wes. Who would you pick? 2023 Track Promoter of the Year?
No, that's going to be another one. All of them. We appreciate all of our track promoters and owners, series directors, track employees, officials, flagmen. We appreciate all of them. No, I ain't touching that one with the.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I agree with you completely. Appreciate all of them. They're all great. They all are willing to do something that most of us, including the two of us, aren't willing or capable of doing. And it's a really hard thing, and they all do a great job of it, and we just we appreciate all of them. All right. Well, I don't have any other awards, man. I agree with you. 2023, Wes, just however you want to put it, whatever you want to say, give us all your final words, and I'll do the same, and we'll end it with that.
Well, I know it's not over yet, but it's close, and this is kind of our season finale as far as the show. But man, it's been so good. We have raced all over the state. We've raced all over the country. We've went to Crown Jewels. We've went to big races in the state of Kentucky at all of our home and local tracks, and it has just been an awesome year, and probably my best and favorite year of dirt racing. I mean, 2023 has just been amazing, but it's flew by, and it just, as the old saying goes, the older you get, the faster time goes, and I know everybody's busy and got a lot going on, but man, such a good year. 2023 has just been awesome, and just thankful for all the opportunities that we've had at all of these tracks and things we've got to do and experience. You know, calling races and victory lane interviews and talking to national drivers, local drivers, regional drivers, you know, the interviews and just the friendships made throughout the year. I mean, you just wrap it all up. 2023 has been an awesome year, and we're super blessed, and just thankful for all of our sponsors, all the fans. It's just been great, man, and I just want to thank everybody.
Yeah, it has. It's truly. I agree with you. It has. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. We tried a whole lot of new things this year. Had a lot of things from the beginning of the year that when we first started this podcast, we hadn't planned on doing. Tried it. A lot of it worked. Some of it didn't, but it sure was a whole lot of fun doing every bit of it. You know, looking back on it, the biggest thing has just been the people. I appreciate this community that we've built here through this podcast of people. And I just want to continue to carry that along and build that and grow that. I think the people who listen to and follow, watch our podcast are all positive people for our sport, ambassadors for our sport, great fans, drivers, crew members, whatever they might be, promoters, all of them. They're great. This is a great community, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. You know, I wrote an article just a couple of weeks ago. Racing is awful. You see so much negativity about racing on social media. I mean, it's all the time. Somebody's complaining about racing ain't as good as it used to be. It costs too much. This, that, the other. So many things. But this community here, these people here who follow our podcast, the people I've been around at the racetrack this year are just some awesome, supportive, great racing people. And I just appreciate every one of them. They are really, when it comes down to it, what has made it so much fun.
Absolutely. I agree with you 150%. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So thank you all again. Be on the lookout in the off season, the coming months, after deer season, of course, because I've got to kill a deer, and I've got between now and like January 1st to do it, but I've got to get it wise and bring that to you, and then regular show will start back up in 2024. It can't get here soon enough. We'll see everybody, but thank you, Wes. It's been a lot of fun. You're a great friend, and it's been a lot of fun these last year and a half, I guess, doing this podcast with you.
Absolutely. Thank you again. You know, I appreciate you, and you're a great friend. Love you and your family, and just thanks for letting me be your co-host and asking me to come on board and do this, and I love it, and just want to continue it and keep growing and just being us, doing what we do, and loving the sport of dirt racing, and spreading it throughout the state of Kentucky, and spotlighting all of our tracks and our drivers and our promoters.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody better, that's for sure. And like I said, it's been a whole lot of fun. So, one last time here in 2023, let's thank our sponsors. I'll tell you what, Wes, let's split it up this time. We've tried to split up who's reading the sponsors, so I'll go through half the screen, you go through the others. We'll end with one final 2023 thanks to our sponsors. First of all, Smokehouse Grill and Buffet. Of course, that changed ownership about halfway through the racing season, but Patty and Terry Cheeks, great supporters of racing, great supporters of dirt racing in the bluegrass. They were the very first people back in 2013 when I first started this, not the podcast, but the page, to reach out and say, hey, we want to give you some money to help you with what you're doing, traveling all over the state covering dirt racing. So we greatly appreciate them. Racetrack Connection. Bluegrass Restoration and Construction, The Detail Shop, Extreme Style Signs and Graphics, Fast Track Racing Series, Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Model Series, Dirtman Diecast. All right, Wes, I'll let you take over from there.
CT Promotions, Mudlick Valley Raceway, Richmond Raceway, Rock Castle Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway, Lake Cumberland Speedway. Not to forget, Saturday night, October 28th, I think 2,000 to win Enduros, 1,200 to win crates, 1,000 to win modifieds, 500 to win hobby stocks and front wheel drives, Lake Cumberland Speedway. Everybody go and support them, and that should be a great night of racing. I don't know of anybody else running, so everybody come out and let's have one more big bang there for Lake Cumberland Speedway. Another good night of racing. Ponderosa Speedway, Ironman Bruce Built Modified Series, and Ironman Valvoline Late Model Series. Just a huge shout out and thank you for all of our sponsors and our tracks. We're just so appreciative of all of them and what you all do for our podcast.
Yep. All right, that'll do it for 2023. One more event here in 2024 that I'm aware of coming up this weekend, Lake Cumberland. Like Wes said, it's supposed to be great weather. Head on out to the racetrack. Beyond that, we will see you at the races in 2024. This has been Dirt Racing and the Bluegrass Live.
See you guys.